Wow, I'm live again. I can't believe it. Didn't think I'd get back on. So anyway, if anybody's here, uh, just go ahead and put a comment down there. As we lost our audio earlier. So anyway, maybe a short-lived live. Hey, there he is. Hey, Mike. Wow, you're not showing up on the people in there. That's okay. I'm glad you can hear. I have no idea what happened. I know, and you know too, that well, at least my experience, internet's not too great. We have Globe at home, they call it. Um, it's hit and miss, man. I'm seriously considered like PLDT. What do you have? I mean, I don't know if anybody said, "Oh yeah, we've got fantastic internet here." Here at the house, especially, sometimes it just keeps me from uploading videos. I mean, it does, or I get it almost 98% uploaded, and it'll just crash on me. Then I'll lose like my audio, and I have to go back and redo the thing again. It's crazy. That's one of the things about the YouTube channel that I didn't know. I figured it would be some work. Um, but man, the things you have to learn, just the process of what you have to learn just to edit videos. I mean, and I see a lot of, and I'm not putting anybody down. In fact, I think it may be the way to go. Just some guys just get on there and they just start talking, and most of them have a point. Okay, you got PLDT. I'm seriously thinking about changing to them because it's Globe is the customer service is it's an oxymoron. It's non-existent. Uh, my phone is fine, and I go to the mall, go to SM. They got a nice office up there, and they're pretty helpful. Um, but if your internet's slow, I mean, I can sit here and I want to get my email. Somehow it just sits there and spins, and then I'll be halfway through something, and it goes down, and then it'll come back up. My TV is the same way. And my TV is I've got Ethernet cable hooked right into the modem, and I think that's less reliable hardwired than the wireless. So I've got my TV hooked up both ways. So I think Mike, I think I may just do that. I may check them out this week, see what kind of deal they've got. I pay about $40 a month, 1,998 pesos, and I get it spotty, and I can't get it throughout the whole house. In my bedroom, it's really hard to get. I use bought an extender. It helps slightly, but it just seemed like, especially on windy days, I think maybe if the cable's just going back and forth, it's really tough. You know. Hey, if you come onto the live stream, hey, go in and just say hi. Tell me where you're from. My name's Randall. If you've never been on the channel, I'm my name's Randall with the Philippines Project, and I'm living here in Iloilo City, outside of Iloilo City, in a little town called Pavia. And this is just an informal uh, question and answer. If you have any questions, by all means, go down and comment. If you're just say if you're here in the Philippines, tell me where. If you're not, tell me where you live at. Are you thinking about coming to the Philippines? All right, Jeff. I almost wanted to play a joke, like I just start moving my mouth, but there's too much background. Like the sound went out again, but the too much background. You know I was lying to you. So I'm glad the sound is back on. It went out whenever my AirPods stopped on me, so had something to do with that. I went in and unhooked the Bluetooth, so I thought maybe that the sound would come back on. It never did. So sorry, I missed my. Okay, Jeff, you're in Washington State. Um, just had some friends stay with me a few weeks back. They're from Portland area, somewhere up in somewhere up in Oregon, up in the Northeast. They're My wife's known them for years, and they came. They're buying condos in the Philippines. Does any of you own a condo in the Philippines? I don't know really too much about it. I have a feeling they just asked too much money for it, and they promised the world, but I could be wrong. If I thought it was a good investment, I might invest in one, but I don't know. I do a lot of my financial stuff like on chemistry, intuition, or just I get a vibe about something. What Jeff? What area? We bought in San Lorenzo. Where did your place at? Yeah, Mike. I think the condos they're not Manila prices. They're cheaper, but it's it's I don't know if it's approaching American prices. Really not, but they're so small. Nuevo Valencia. So you're about almost a good hour from the Jordan Wharf. That's a nice area. I just went down there not too long ago. All of Guimaras is nice, as far as I'm concerned. When you cross that ferry and you get on the other side, man, it's just it. I call it the island vibe. You just start picking that up. The breezes are fresher. The air smells sweeter. I love it over there. I love Guimaras. It's great. The ETA on the bridge. The Philippines. It's until then. I had a guy I'm buying a motorcycle from. He's oh yeah, man, they've got the plans. Who knows? I don't know. They say in 10 years it'll be done. But if you're going to buy a property, I'd buy it. I'd buy it now, and certainly don't look to me for real estate investment advice. But if they get the bridge over there, everybody's got any money, any choice is probably going to want to live over there and drive back and forth to work. So, yeah, Mike. I mean, we were looking at prices over the last year. I mean, we're going over it quite a bit, and we'd spend all day riding around the back of a trike or somebody's van, and we would talk to our agent and say, "Hey, we want that property." Well, oh, it sold last night. I mean, it was selling. The stuff is selling, and so this was a little bit higher price than what we wanted to pay, but it had everything we basically wanted. It's got water, it's got an electric pole on site, which all we have to do is get a meter, get them hook it up. Um, it's relative. Three-quarters of it is relatively flat. It's got a lot of old mango trees on it. It's got concrete road frontage on two sides, and it's fairly private. The only drawback, really, if you watch any of the videos, is next door we got a guy that raises fighting cocks. So we hear the roosters, but we're in the Philippines. You're not going to hear roosters. I mean, that's just part of it. So, but Mike, yeah, I mean, the news is saying that, yeah, but it's true. Prices are going up. Prices are really going up in the Philippines in general. I was reading some stuff on all the economies across Asia, and Philippines was like I don't know, top three or top four economies as far as growth goes, and it all depends on how you measure it. Your economies and all that, but prices are not going down. That's for sure. Yeah, I paid quite a bit, Mike, for this property right here. 120 square meters is what I've got, and this house sets on all 120 square meters. There's no yard. So there's no place to put a car unless I park it on the street. And right now, I don't plan on buying one. It's just an expense. Like I said, I've got some investments I'm making, some cash investments I'm making in the United States uh, on some property in the short term. So, and plus interest rates have went up. If you have commercial loans, you can't get fixed rates on them. And where I'm at anyway. So those interest rates have went way up. So I'm facing that challenge. It'll come back down every election year. Whoever's in office, the incumbent, is always going to try to bring the economy to a better place so they get reelected. So hopefully, that's my hope, is that interest rates will come down. I'm pretty sure most land that backs up onto a cemented road is 5,000 and up. Are you talking about per square meter? Because that's super high. Um, well, depends on if you're in Buena Vista, where the bridge is supposed to come through. It's pretty high up there, and they're selling like residential lots and stuff, pretty big residential lots. That's not what I was interested in at all. I wanted more of a farm property. So, not that I'm a farmer, but uh, wow, per square meter, 5,000. I I didn't pay that. That's for sure. I paid enough. When you figure, you know, like I've got a hectare. That's 2.47 acres. That's not very big. So I figured I paid a pretty good price for it. Yeah, I'm sure that's true, Mike. That sounded like where that would be. That's prime real estate. But if you're going to put a business over there, you're probably going to be able to recoup that. But I'm not really trying to start a business over there. We may have something, but it's going to be pretty casual at the most. I've grown a few mushrooms, like oyster mushrooms. I thought about doing that over there, putting up a little building and kind of a dark room where you grow mushrooms and sell them in Iloilo City to the restaurants. I don't know if that's even a market. I haven't really delved into it, but I'd like to have build some tilapia, a little tilapia farming operation, just for our own stuff, not really to sell commercially or go to the market. What I have learned about the Philippines, just about every business here, the competition. I mean, they're going to sell their products so cheap just to make a few pesos, and probably that's because they, you know, they're trying to live on a few pesos. So they'd rather have the pesos than the guy in the fish stand next to him. So I don't know. It seemed like the business prospects here, unless you have a unique business that somebody else doesn't have, uh, it seems like it's going to be a hard way to go. I could be wrong. The construction business, I think, would be pretty good because of labor. I mean, the labor is so cheap, but materials will keep going higher. Especially, man, we're buying a few things over there in Guimaras, and it's a lot higher over there than it is here. I mean, it's crazy high over there. But they gotta transport it. So, and then they're making money. If people are buying over there and they're building over there, probably they've got more money than just people over here, rural people. So they're uh, they're really charging some prices. We spent just on cement and hollow block just to build that septic tank. It was over $400, and that's a lot of money here. Yeah. I'm not, the comments I make about business here, they're just surface, surface observations on my part. Uh, I always think, and I have run businesses before, I've owned businesses, your customer service and your relationship building skills and your quality, you know, that's going to differentiate you from anybody else. If you can instill these things in your staffs and your workers. or in yourself, somehow. So we had a janitorial business, me and my wife, for years, and that was the one thing that I always try is like I always say answer your phone, which doesn't really apply here because I don't know, phones are just funny, they're different here. But anyway, answer your phone, do what you say you're going to do, and you're not going to have any problem. It's the same principle here. Yeah, all I'm wanting for a fish pond, basically, I'm going to build some. This is my idea. My idea is to build some concrete troughs, maybe 10 foot wide, so deep for a pond, and then maybe 20 foot long, and just you're going to have different sections for like your brand new, maybe a breeding area. Then you're going to have a fingerling area. Then, you're going to have to scale that out so the fish can live and you can raise them. Basically, I'm not interested in selling them. I'd just like to have that fresh supply. And then chickens, I'd like to have chickens. I raised rabbits when I was young, and I was in FFA, Future Farmers of America organization, and I raised that was my project. I raised rabbits for meat, and that's a good supply of good quality meat. So that's something that we might do. Yeah, Paul, I'm in Pavia right now. We've been here since this time since November the 5th, and I don't know when we'll go back to the U.S. I've got to go back because of my Malik Bayan. I don't have to go back to the U.S., but I got to see my family. I've got three daughters. I've got four grandkids, and I've got my dad's still alive. He's 85. I just hope I can stay, as good a health as he is for as long as, he's been around. He's still in pretty decent shape. I've got brothers back there in the United States. Yeah, it would be great if they start building a bridge. From what I understand, and from what I understand is all the engineering's done. I think they're entertaining bids and contractors. Don't take anything I say. Take it with a grain of salt because for me here, I don't know. It seemed like news is hard to come by. If you guys have uh, some places you go to for news in the Philippines, I mean, yeah, the internet, but Panay News that seems to be okay, but their articles are really short. They're not in depth at all. Uh, yeah, from what I understand, uh, they're going to start the bridge over around Leganese. Is that what you've heard? Uh, which right now it's a 20-minute ride if traffic's decent all the way down to Parola for me to put my bike on the Roro. If it goes to Leganese, it's going to be another 20 minutes. But I think the road going to Leganese from Pavia is a lot better than going down through city proper and all that stuff. So I don't care if they have a bridge, they have a bridge. But then I'm going to end up at Buena Vista, and I'm going to have to go south all the way down to San Lorenzo. So it's going to actually, if I take the bridge, it'll be cheaper maybe, but still going to be a lot of time. So yeah, Leganese. Hey, Chris Bailey, how you doing? I'm glad you came by the live stream. This is actually our second one. Yeah, I'd like to, Mike. I'd like to find that area and just take the bike up there and just look around. Probably if I just go up there and ask around, I could find it. Toll bridge. that's that's pretty that's pretty Filipino. They might do that. Hey, it's a legit deal. I mean, I'd pay a toll if as long as it's not a forever toll. But that's usually what happens when they institute a toll. I mean, uh, okay. I just don't, Mike. I just never go to Leganese. The only reason I ever go to Leganese, from time to time, we'll go to the Sea Garden Resort. We've been up there a couple times with the whole family, and then the Ceres bus terminal. About the only two reasons I ever go to Leganese. Chris, I don't use Phil Health right now because I've got to have you've got to have a you got to be registered in the Philippines. And again, I'm going to say this over and over. Don't take my advice on a lot of things, especially immigration issues. But you got to have you got to have you got to be registered here. And like I got a friend of mine, he's on a tourist visa. He had to go to immigration. They had to give him that alien registration number. He's got this ID card, which is great. I just haven't done it yet because I'm on a Balik Bayan visa because I'm married to a Filipina. But in order to get Phil Health, you at least have to be registered. That's where I'm going with that. I use Pacific Cross insurance, and that's what I've got right now. In fact, I've got to renew it this week. I just put a video up about that. Uh, so more details in on that. Okay, Micah Santos. If I buy 200 square meter lot there, how much would it be to the cost to build a house with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms? Wow, that's a good question. I mean, we built this house in 2018 and 19. I'm guessing it took me around 4 million, but we've got 3 full levels. So 200 square meter lot. I wouldn't build a house. It just depends on how many people's going to live there. Uh, and the thing about building, I mean, if that's what you're going to do, you just, well, first of all, do you have a reason to build? Where are you going to build? Do you have a reason to build in Iloilo City area, like where I'm at? Because the price is going to be different here than it is in Bacolod area, or the farther out you go, the cheaper it's going to be. So, I mean, that's going to dictate your price. But if you, and another thing, they always say, don't if you're not familiar with the Philippines, and I don't know you, you may be more familiar than me, but if you're not, then I would say come here and go to a lot of different places and stay a lot of different rent can be pretty cheap. And everybody complains about the cost of a condo. Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's $400 to $500 a month here in Iloilo City in the Mega World area. But there's a little bit cheaper. Avita properties are a little bit cheaper than that. But I don't know. I'm not sold on condos. But, renting is much preferred if you don't know that much about the Philippines, because you may get in an area that you think, yeah, I got a lot, I got a good price, and boom, let's start building. And then you start spending your time there, and you find out it's a neighborhood you don't like for whatever reason. And so, there's a lot of concern there. We may have an ad coming up here, so just hang on. I don't know. It said ads will run shortly for some viewers. They just popped it up there. Uh, but I would say at least 4 million pesos. What's that? $80,000, which is not a lot of money, by American standards. You could buy a decent, and again, it just depends on what you build. If you build a 1 story, and I mean, you can cheap it out. You can get it roughed in, and you can really watch your dollars, and it just depends on what you want. It's like those videos. How much does it cost to live in the Philippines? And let's see. Anyway, I'm not making a bad comment on your comment, but how much it costs to live in the Philippines is up to you. Now I can tell you my electric bill was like $165 last month, but I've got a 4 horsepower air conditioner that I used quite a bit because it was hot, and I run my air conditioner all night in the bedroom. But the last 3 weeks, I haven't hardly even turned on my big air conditioner, so it'll be less next month. The water's about $20. Cable's about $40 for supposedly good internet. So those are your basic building blocks. You could probably eat if you're conservative. You could, and you don't go out.